Hi, my name is Michael Dell. I'm a Ganawage Rono living with special needs. When I was interviewed, I had an idea for a show for people from Ganawage living with disabilities. Today is the start of that show, Walk in My World. Often, people with disabilities lead sheltered lives, and their interactions are limited to caregivers and family members. I hope this show will bring you awareness of these people, their families, their lives, and their dreams for the future. Welcome back to another episode of Walk in My World. Today we're trying something a little bit different. If you noticed in the past, we've done a lot of one-on-one interviews. Today we're here at Kateri School to introduce to the community of Ganawage a very unique class within Kateri School. For many years in Ganawage, special needs population, I don't want to say has been forgotten, but has been overlooked. And this very unique class of 3 students, along with their shadows, works very hard to give them a very good education, basic education, reading and writing, and arithmetic, but also works a lot with them one-on-one to achieve their personal goals and to try to connect them to community. And a way that they do that is by bringing in some students from grade 4 to interact with them daily. So welcome to the grade 4 class of Kateri School. And can you explain, either one of you, what you do when you come into Noma's class to interact with her students? Go ahead.
We come into the class and we play with them.
Okay, so when you say play with them, what types of games do you play? Do you play Connect 4? Do you play a math game? Do you play do you color with them? What do you do?
Sometimes we play with streamers, like.
Oh, cool. Okay, go ahead.
Sometimes we play this game with a ball and we have to score on each other.
Okay. Who was next? Okay, go ahead.
We play board games and stuff. That's fun.
Okay. Go ahead.
We play this game that you have to, when they say like something like a fruit, and if it's not a fruit you have to run to a table, and if they catch you have to sing something back.
Oh, that's interesting. Go ahead.
You have to listen to music.
You have to listen to music?
And sing.
Okay. So you do a variety of activities when you come here. Do some of you eat lunch with them as well? Go ahead.
We eat lunch with them, and sometimes Joey comes upstairs and brings his lunchbox.
Okay. So he gets to interact out of this room as well. Do you feel that it's important that they connect within the school as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that they get to know their peers and everything like that, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know that if they can connect in school as well, then it will be easier for them when they leave Kateri School to connect in community as well? Okay, does anybody else have anything?
No. My mama, she says that it's very important because we have a lot of school programs. This week, we don't have the tape rolling, right?
Okay. I have a question for you. when it's when it's Christmas break and you see your peers in the community that you interact with when you're in school, when you see them in the community and not in your school is you're on whatever break, will it be easier for you to interact with them because you know them from school?
Yes.
And you know what kind of learning difficulty that they have, but will you look at the learning difficulty or will you look at them as a person?
We'll look at them as a person.
And why is that? What does it mean to you in your heart after you've been with them like for a day and this and that, and you meet them in the community? Is it because you've seen them here at Kateri School and you know who they are and what they're all about, and it's easier to interact with them and treat them as a person?
Yes.
Can you explain why? Because I know why, because I'm disabled, but the viewer may not know why. Can you explain why?
Because you might be friends with them.
Okay, so the community connection may be easier, right? That's good. So I'm going to share a little bit of something about myself. I didn't have the opportunity the way the kids here in this class have an opportunity to go to school now, because back when I was going to school, like I said before, the buildings weren't accessible, so it was a little bit harder. So I have. Does anybody else have anything that they want to add? I'm gonna go around once and ask you if there's, like I guess I could say, if I could go around and ask you to describe one friend that you have in this class, how would you describe? So each of you pick one person that you come in and you play a game with or you have lunch with. Out of the 3 students that are in here, what would be one best thing to describe them? Go ahead.
They're fun to play with and they're nice to you.
Go ahead.
They are funny sometimes, and you have fun playing with them.
Okay, so like I said before, the whole premise of my show is not to focus on the weaknesses and focus on the positive and not the negative. And by you coming in this class every day, you're helping these students grow on their personal skills, and that's an achievement in itself. Do you have any questions about how I'm here? Not here in Kateri School, how I got here in this chair?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew you would. Okay, who's going first? Okay. Since you've been the one that has the most questions, I have to ask your name.
Stella.
Okay, Stella. And if you don't mind, how old are you?
9.
Okay, that's good. Okay, what's your question?
How did you get in the chair?
How did I get in the chair? Wasn't by accident. It's something called cerebral palsy. So when I was born, I didn't have enough oxygen, and when I was born, I suffered from a lack of oxygen. So I had to stay at the Munch Children's Hospital in an incubator till I was about the required weight to come home. And I had to grow up from a little baby to where I am today. But it hasn't been easy. And there's some days where I would like to say, gee, I'd like to change place like you, Stella, and see what it is like for to walk. But then there's some days where I would say, gee, I don't know. Maybe I would like to, maybe the Creator put me here for a reason. And the thing is that, you know, that's what it is. I'm not going to say that it's been pretty all fun and games, because everybody in the community thinks that this is a motorized wheelchair, and it's very easy to get around and everything. It is. It's my mode of transportation. But the thing is, I have my good days and I have my bad days with my disability. But you know what? Because I came to Kateri School today, it's a good day. And because you asked the most questions, it's a good day. And because you took the time to think about the questions and not just ask me anything that came to your mind, it's a good day. And it's going to be a good end to the day, because next time I see you in the community, I want to know who you are. So the whole show has been about to connect to community, kind of like how you're connecting with these kids through Kateri School, but on a more human level and an adult level sometimes. So how I got in the chair is, I get that every day sometimes, and I really appreciate how you asked the question, because some people adults choose to ask the wrong way, and then it makes me upset, but you don't make me upset. Thank you for asking the question. Go ahead.
How do you go upstairs?
How I go upstairs is there's a ramp, or there's an elevator. Kind of like you have in Kateri School here. Go ahead.
How do you get in bed?
How I get in bed is because I can stand up for a little amount of time, and there's this big pole that I hang on to and then my mom grabs one arm, and then I just swing over in bed. Okay, go ahead.
How do you go in a car?
How I go in a car is an adapted van. So I stay when I was 8. I used to get transferred into a van, but because I'm 38 now, and it's a little bit heavy for my mom to be doing all that by herself that way. So we have what's called an adapted van. So basically the floor gets lower and a ramp gets put on, and I get to stay in my chair. And I have secure belts, one around here, and 4 belts to hold the chair down to the floor.
How do you get in the shower?
How I get in the shower is there's an adapted shower that was constructed in my house, and I have what's called a commode. And a commode can do 2 things. It can go in the toilet to help me go so I don't sit directly on the toilet. I sit on a commode. And when at my home, everything is constructed for me so I can use it. So I don't have to use a commode. However, when I go to a hotel, because some hotels are not fully accessible, I take a commode with me. But for my house, I have what's called a raised toilet. So it's not like a conventional toilet that you have at home. It's a raised toilet, so that when somebody comes to help me get on or off the toilet, they don't have to bend way down and hurt their back to help me get up. Can I show you something? Okay, I talked about the wheelchair before, and the wheelchair has about, I don't know, Stella, can you come here? Just stand somewhere here. Stella was standing here, and this was on. okay, she would, and I went like that, she would have got, she was standing in the direct path, she would have got hurt, okay? Okay, this is set for 4 speeds. I don't even drive at 4 speeds. It's too dangerous for me. So it's set by a computer that they have in Montreal, and all 4 speeds are set like that. And the thing is that this whole control box controls the chair. Now, if something breaks on this chair, I have to go to Montreal and get it repaired. My legs are broken when this is broken. These are lights to control the lights in the back. And because we sit here for so many hours, we have this too. This reclines.
Wow.
And one time, I'm going to leave it there because one time, this is where I got stuck. So, you know, if I get stuck and I see Stella somewhere in the community, I hope she will stop and help me. Okay, who had a question here? Thank you, Stella. Who had a question here? Okay, go ahead.
How do you got the chair?
How I got the chair? I had to go see somebody called an OT who helped me get the chair, and the government paid for it. So when I go to a big place called a rehab center, it's for people that help people like me. The government pays for my repairs. Okay, go ahead.
How do you get dressed?
How I get dressed is my mom helps me, or some of my friends have a home care worker come in from the community. But right now, my mom and I are still able to work together one-on-one, so we do it. Go ahead.
Do you feel your legs?
Yes, I do. Okay, go ahead.
How long have you had it?
How long have I had what?
The wheelchair.
I've had it for almost 7 years old. Almost. I get to change it after 80% of the cost of the value of the chair. I mean, when you see me riding around in this chair, it's not a game. It's not a game like you play with your teacher. It's not a medical device that they have in a hospital. It's a medical device to help me get around. So, like I said, when it's broken, my legs are broken. I have to go and get it repaired, and then it's fixed, and then that's good. Okay, who had a question? Go ahead.
How do you go get groceries?
How I go get groceries? Jeez, okay. Sometimes my mom will go when I'm at the learning center taking my courses, or at the day program, or sometimes when my mom has time, we'll go together.
What happens if we're running out of gas or batteries?
I have to charge it every night, and the batteries are good for 2 years, and the batteries weigh about 700 pounds because it's not the batteries alone, it's 2 motors and two computers inside, and plus the total weight of the chair plus the total weight of me, so you're looking at a lot.
How do you go and eat out?
How I go and eat out? Good question. And I'm really glad that you asked that question because it's not easy. You have to look for an accessible restaurant. And more, in the past, restaurants weren't accommodating to people in wheelchairs, especially as big as mine. Because my mom doesn't call it a wheelchair, she calls it a truck. And because I'm so tall, it has to be this way. The thing is that we have to find an accessible restaurant, and we have to sit where there's a lot of room so that people can pass and we're comfortable. And mainly I eat when we go out, I eat in a food court just because it's easier, But sometimes it's not easier because they don't have an accessible table. Like how many of you go to Carrefour Agrion Shopping Center? Okay, I'll give you a challenge. Next time you're walking with your mom or your dad, walk over towards the food court, and there's not one handicap table, and they just spent a lot of money redoing that, and I have to go all the way to Point Claire in Fairview to get a handicap table. Not fair, huh? Or I have to eat at my mom's table.
If you went to a different restaurant and there were stairs, would you go up it or?
No.
Myself, I will not go where there's no ramp. I believe it's, in this day and age, it's not correct. I will not spend my money where there's no ramp.
Okay. If you need to turn on the light and you can't reach it, how do you turn it on?
Okay,
If your mother's not home.
if my mother's not home, well, okay. The thing is, my mom just renovated my whole room a couple of years ago, so when she re-renovated, she put all the switches at a low place. Okay, so like I said, that's the last question. I'm gonna work it out with your principal to come back. And so in the time that I'm coming back, hopefully, come up with the best 10 questions, okay? And how many of you watch my show again? Okay, so continue to watch my show, and any questions that you have about the show after how it's made, why you see how it's made partly, but if you have any other questions about my show, I'll answer those too when I come back. Thank you very much.
Cheese. Oh, more enthusiastic, come on. Cheese. Yay, thanks guys.
Continuing on now, we have two teachers that work in this classroom every day with the 3 students that we met earlier and some students from grade 4. We have Norma and Natalie, Tamara and Norma, who work in this classroom every day, and they're gonna just explain to us how the day goes when the students are here.
Okay. Well, this is the first year that we started this classroom to work with these 3 students, and our main goal was to have other children from other classrooms come in to visit us for a portion of the day, and so we play games with them, we have music, we teach them also to do some jobs around around the school, so that's one of our goals, and the other goal is for them to communicate. So we've been using this machine called the Dynavox so that other children can communicate and understand what they say. And we are also getting an iPad in a few weeks, so we're going to be using that. So that's our major goal. And also for the curriculum to be at their level. We wanted them to be able to be part of their level at reading and their level at writing, and we wanted to focus a lot on computer skills. So that's why this classroom is really designed for their needs.
How was it before this classroom was designed?
Tamara can explain that.
We used to go one-on-one with each child. We used to take them outside of the class, work one-on-one, so we were very isolated.
So they were in a regular class and they were just taken out?
Yeah, they were taken out because the curriculum was getting too difficult. And since there's a few students who are nonverbal, we need to talk more to them, and we need to use their Dynavoxes, which are special programs that are their voice.
So they were taken out once a week, every day?
Every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you felt that they were getting, for lack of a better term, left behind?
They were getting left behind, and also socially, they were alone and they were dependent too much, I think, on the teachers.
So by having this class of just 3 students, you could work more one-on-one with them, but also work on maybe social skills and everything for the Dino box, and maybe prepare them a little bit better for home as well.
Mm-hmm. It's catered, the classroom is catered just for them, and so we work on their behavior skills, social skills, communication skills, but we didn't want to be isolated in here either. So we're doing reverse integration, where we're bringing children in here, and it's becoming a very well-known classroom. Everybody, all the other students have been saying, "Can I come in? Can I come in?" So it's becoming a very popular room, which we wanted, and they all love to come in and play and be with our students. So it's become like a reward for the other students in the school to come in.
Is it on a voluntary basis?
It was on a voluntary basis, yeah. Okay. And at first we had just a few volunteers, but as people realize what's going on, more and more want to come in.
So it's the best of both worlds, eh?
Exactly, yeah. They have their quiet, their curriculum at their level, but they also get to be part of the regular. They
get to leave the classroom and they go to gym, regular gym. They go to regular music, so that they're with their peers at the same time. But then in here is more when we do their IEP one-on-one, and then we invite other students in, and it's on a volunteer basis. So they come in here, and I think it's relaxing for the other students to get away from the academics for a minute and come and do something social learning, you know?
Yeah, I know that. I know that. But like, do you feel that those kids that come in here to interact with them, and as well as the 3 kids that you have in here daily, do you feel that when the year's over, it will be? I know it's early in the area, but do you hope for a good success?
I really hope that they'll be seeing them on the road or whatever, and they'll say hi and be friendly, and hopefully they can go to each other's homes. There's a lot of children that just go and play with them at recess too, and there's lots of hugs out in the hallway when they greet each other. There's one little girl just standing outside the door that's looking for one of our students right now, because she always likes to hang out with him.
Yeah, and you said that they do lunch together? Yeah,
we go down. That's where they went right now. They went down for lunch, and they're sitting with 4 other students. There's 4 that always want to sit with them at lunchtime.
Okay, so that's on a voluntary basis too?
That's also volunteer.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to add?
Well, I noticed last year there was this boy who was teasing one of our students, and this year he did a 360, and instead of teasing one of our students, he's actually teaching him games and how to use the computer, and he feels like a mentor now that he's come into this class. He realizes, hey, I can show them things, you know? So I think it gives them self-confidence, and then our special needs guys can show them a different way to do something too. So
yeah, it's remarkable. I'm gonna share something just with you guys. I had known that Kateri had went back, or they had went this way to special needs class, and I remember the name. I remember the concept being introduced in the 80s. Outside, I'm gonna walk in. I'm like, oh no! I hope they're not doing it exactly the same way that it was in the 80s outside. And my friend said, oh no, you have to go and see how they do it. And I was like, really, it's really remarkable. And you guys are a testament to special education because you really go above and beyond the call of duty for your 3 kids. So, you know, it's a gift that you bring to Kateri School, because when I heard that it was coming back, I was like, I don't know. It was a little bit weary, and then somebody said, that's a good topic for your show. And it just fit. So I'm really glad I got to spend the morning here. And, you know, when you have your open house in the next couple of weeks, I invite the rest of Ganawagi who has a child here or doesn't have a child here to come and explore the whole school. But make sure you stop by this class and really experience the positive energy and the gifts that are in this classroom, because it's very remarkable. And do you have anything else you want to add?
I think it's just important that we have a strong team, which we do, and Natalie is not here with us right now, but the 3 of us work very well together, and we all believe in the same philosophy, and I think because of that we've gelled. The children feel it, we feel it, and I really do feel it's been a positive experience for them and for the rest of the school. And I just hope that next year, if this class is around, more students will be coming into this classroom.
So this was a pilot project?
It's the first year. I don't know, what's happening with it, but this is the first year that we've had this classroom.
But the boys really enjoy it. I mean, what she's brought into the class is like music and happiness and movement and learning in a whole different way than just paper and pen. So they're excited coming to school. Yeah. Yeah, and their behaviors have changed big time. They feel proud to come to school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, I thank you for allowing us into your classroom this morning, and continue to do the great work that you are all doing. Thank you very much. We've come to the end of another episode of Walk in My World. If you have any comments or questions, you can email me at mike.dell@paulcom.ca. Ona.
More than 14% of all Canadians have a disability. For Aboriginal First Nations people in Canada, there are 33% of people living with disabilities. People living with disabilities are subject to exclusion, poverty, and isolation. There are higher rates of depression, suicide, violence, and abuse for people with disabilities. We know that for Aboriginal people with disabilities in Canada, all of these rates and percentages are even higher. Statistics according to Independent Living Canada.
Kanya ke haga thadi adaraste kayerniga yadu zawaderodu.